Hello, welcome to my threat hunting with DetectionLab intro. I prepared this intro. Please note that this is not a formal training. This is not a formal webinar video capture. I just want to capture an intro on video so that when you register my webinar on threat hunting with DetectionLab, you may have a better understanding instead of just checking to my abstract in the webinar. I start in digital forensic in year of 2013, I think, in Hong Kong when the days forensic science is developed. Traditional digital forensic heavily relies on procedures on make sure you need to keep proper chain of custody. Very marketing niche term for forensic scientists or forensic analyst or forensic investigator, so that the law enforcement can present forensically sound evidence to the courts. So after that establishment, digital forensic becoming some mythical area that a lot of the cybersecurity professionals don't have a full understanding. In Hong Kong, basically, it changed to some kind of court procedures. If you don't follow some de facto standard to collect this image, that means you cannot provide a forensically signed evidence to the court, and you don't know digital forensic. Please pay attention. Forensic is not only one direction to provide service to the law enforcement in criminal cases. A lot of civil cases need forensic, and more in day-to-day life for offset of the environment. Companies, organizations need incident response. Not every incident response need to go to digital forensic, especially when you are working in enterprises environment. You don't need to spend all of your budget to perform this imaging. It's totally unnecessary because collecting this image doesn't solve your problem to identify the root cause of a cyber attack. And most of the cases, especially those human-operated ransomware cases, you cannot pursue a court case. Why are you spending $1 million Hong Kong dollar to perform the hard disk imaging for more than 100 servers in your enterprise's environment? So cybercrime landscape changed since OPSEC teams is aware cyber attack kill chain model and MITRE attack framework. DFIR forensic investigators should consider not only to preserve this evidence by collecting this image from tangible disk image. You need to consider from now, because a lot of organizations start migrating their on-prem environment to hybrid cloud environments. Because of my malware analysis background, I have always wanted to build a virtual environment to perform my research on detection analytics so that I can apply the findings for better detection of my client's SOC detection capability. Writer attack-based SOC should replace the compiling SOC from a personal point of view in order to handle the latest cyber attacks. We should not only spending our budget to buy a silver bullet solution to defend our IT infrastructure, either on-prem or in the cloud or hybrid cloud, but we need to train our SOC analysts to identify the lateral movement inside our environment by using our existing purchased security solution. For a typical example, EDR. I know the DetectionLab from the attack EDR evaluation performed by MITRE. They performed 4 evaluations. In this webinar, I'm going to share on how I modify this pre-built environment to set up our virtual lab on the cloud for performing threat hunting research. I have no ambition to ask you to use this lab to replace or purchase it or going to purchase so-called purple team cyber range solution. But why not consider using some well-developed open source environment for training your own team to defend those future unknown attacks? Some typical traditional use case can be found in this solution, but they are a bit far from reality. In this webinar, I'm going to show you how to use the basic concept on using some open source blue team tools. The most important is not the lab. The most important, you need to aware and understand how to use the blue team's tool so that you can develop detection analytic, basically some rules or detection mechanism. A typical example is Sigma rule to detect any known red team tactics, but also to making use of same technique to create detection analytic for any future identified exploit or future unknown attack. Please don't take this as a training or this is a blue team CTF games. Actually, I know you can find a lot of blue team CTF games, but they are games. I just want to show on how I'm going to develop my SOC detection analytic with my colleague and show you how to properly train your blue team if you are not rich enough to buy such purple team cyber range. Here, this is a typical DetectionLab architecture. Basically, they are having 4 machines. One is the logger, which is the center point of collecting analytic information. You can see that it will build from the Span, Suricata, SAC, which is a new version of Flow network detection engine, and also Fleet, which is the interface to review the OS query log, or you can create your query. You need to take out this information, the endpoint information from this Windows machine by using the query developed for OS query, and also using a tool called Apache Aquamoli. I can't pronounce it correctly because it is Spanish, which is a tool that you can using this tool to connect to any RDP VNC or SSH inside a contained or protected private network. Another wonderful tool is called Velociraptor. I can't pronounce it correctly, I'm quite sure, but this is a real live incident response or live forensic tool. You can take out, ask the agent to get this information from this phone machine. In the webinar I'm going to deliver, I want you to study some basic information first. For example, how I get the to know the DetectionLab, the DetectionLab, and the SCIC Hub. You can find videos there. And also inside the DetectionLab is so good, the developer already pre-built everything, including some red team tool called Atomic Red Team. If you go to here, you can find they give you some basic understanding. But before you attend my webinar, I highly recommend you go through some of the tool, at least have some idea. This is a red team tool called Atomic Red Team, so that they can simulate some kind of multi-attack framework activity by using the DetectionLab, one of the virtual machine called Win10. And then you can go to YouTube to review the webinar. And other than the red team tool, you need to understand the blue team tool. One of the newly developed, the Velociraptor, which is built from the GRR. For those DFIR professional, maybe you are already using it, or maybe you use or know of the GRR before, which is called Google Rapid Response Tool. It is a modified version. You can even take out live forensic data, try to check which machine is having some PE file, but named as some other extension in Windows environment. You can even take out the MFT file from a particular machine. Well, forensic expert, you will be like to know that it is some kind of always on CADE, which is for live forensic tool developed by Crow. You can using Velociraptor to replace CADE, and you can have a wonderful training already offered by the developer. I think it's Mike Cohen of the Velociraptor. And you can learn some of the other red team tool called Bad Blood by going on to review the webinar in YouTube. And you can understand what OS query, how to use Fleet. Of course, you should have some idea of what I can't pronounce it again, that remote desktop web interface. So please, after you watch this intro, do a research. If you are interested, please register my webinar. My webinar may first time will deliver in Hong Kong. I may use Cantonese by using English terms to entertain my community first, or maybe if you prefer, I can prepare another webinar in English in the future. So this is my end of my threat hunting with DetectionLab webinar intro.